What's up, cultivators? It's your favorite cultivator, Jaylon here, and I'm here with the beautiful Miss Zaneshia. How are you doing today, love?
I'm doing good. Very happy to be here.
Period. I'm happy to hear that. Please tell the people who you are, what you do, and why you do it, please.
Hey, everybody. I'm Zaneshia, the owner of LaShawn's Luxury Experience, your event planning and designing business out here in Houston, Texas, and the surrounding areas.
Okay, I love that. So event planning, set design. How do you do both of these two entities? Because I know they are like both huge individual segments.
Yes. So pretty much like the process that I have with all of my clients, whether it's just like a regular person and it's like a celebration for them, or if it's like a company that's trying to create an event that they're starting up on and they just need a little bit of assistance on that, just basically start up with the basic question: what exactly are you trying to do?
Right.
What is your vision?
Right.
What are we working towards? What is the goal here?
Okay.
And if it's just like a simple event that I'm working on, like if it's like, for example, for my event, I had a networking event last year in September. It was geared towards more photographers, models, videographers, and things like that. And with that design, we had a theme of the Bohemian theme.
Okay.
We kind of wanted to make it real relaxed and things like that, and kind of just because you don't really see Bohemian themed events like that.
I never even heard of that, to be honest.
So really?
Nope.
Oh wow.
Nope.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, I don't know the actual definition. So the little bits and pieces that I do know, it's more like your modern, relaxed, earthy, ethereal type of.
And you was able to execute that for that event.
Yes.
Okay.
Even with just like the little minor details, because the venue that we selected, they had like this beautiful wallpaper that was kind of like, I don't know how to put it, but it was more so like a forest, like a closer up on the forest, like the leaves, and they had like a couple of gold leaves on the wall as well, which tied really well with the theme. Okay. That's another thing that I pay attention to, is making sure that the venue and the location goes well with the theme, because it's one big masterpiece.
So what happens when the venue does not go with the vibe of the theme?
Then I find another venue.
Period.
That's just what it is. I find another venue. Because like for another example, I have a client, her wedding is in 2026. She originally had her heart set out on this one in particular venue, which the venue was beautiful. It was honestly breathtaking. And they were going more for like an intimate wedding. Even though their wedding is like 200 plus people, they still, it's a lot of people. But they still wanted the intimate, rustic type of feel, which was perfect. The venue was perfect. The decor that they had there, the chapel, the reception area, everything was beautiful. Okay. But she still wanted to look at different ones as well. And the ones that I had sent her, as well as the ones that she found, they were all still kind of under that umbrella as far as that feel goes. And we were able to decide on a venue that works well for their budget. It's not too far. It's close by hotel accommodations for their family, because she does have like a lot of elders in her family. And I pay attention to that. That's like one of my main things I pay attention to, because I understand if you have like a lot of elders in your family, the main thing that we need to focus on is, okay, for example, catering. Are we going to have this plated? Do I need to bring servers to make sure that the elders are taken care of the entire time for the wedding? If we need to set something up to where they leave a little bit sooner, or if we make sure we have designated parking for them at the front so they don't have to walk really far. I take those things into consideration, because those little details can really make or break an event without even realizing it.
That is so impressive. So you have your hands on this event from beginning to end. We're talking about from ideas to shaking hands. Thank you for so much.
Yes. To even afterwards, the event as well, for like cleanup, making sure that everything is taken down, packed, ready to go. I had a wedding, my very first wedding actually, in March. And for that one, I designed it as not really, I did more so design and coordination for that wedding. So I hired some people, some of my family members actually, to help me with the event, to help serve and set up and take down and package everything. So I got there like around 2:00, and I want to say I didn't leave until 12 midnight. But that was actually earlier than projected.
That was earlier than projected.
Yeah, that was earlier than projected. The wedding, I think, wasn't supposed to end until midnight. But we got out of there at midnight. All of the guests, they had left and everything, because the wedding was kind of in the middle of the week. So everybody was kind of a little tired anyway. So they ended up leaving earlier. But we were able to still clean up everything at a decent time for us to still be able to get home and shower and get our lives together and get ready for the next day.
So you are literally handling majority of the event.
Yes.
That is a huge relief on a person who's having a wedding, a birthday party, quinceañera, all types of things.
Yes.
What struggles do you face with having your hands on majority of people's events and projects?
I wouldn't even say it's a struggle. I would just have to say dealing with vendors and outside people that are coming in.
Okay.
And that's just because everybody's business and how they do business is different. Literally every single person is different. One person may feel like we need to sit down and have a conversation to go over the event as a whole to figure out what time works best for you.
Right.
Some people, they just feel like they need to send it over email and do that over email. Some people over phone call, and some people, they don't want to do that at all. They just simply tell you, this is the time I'm going to be there. This is where I'm going to be. This is the time I'm going to leave. And that's cool. Everybody does business differently. So I would only say that's kind of a little bit of a struggle because I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. I would rather do things on my own and let it be my mess up versus it's being someone else's mess up and it having like a huge impact. But I'm working on not being so controlling and it being in a healthy way.
So what are some ways that you're working on not being so controlling in a healthy way?
Kind of breaking it down in a much more simpler way of organizing. Because I'm like an organizer. I have to have everything to be organized a certain way because I plan ahead of time to prevent things from going wrong. If I can prevent it from going wrong, I'm going to try my best to. But of course, stuff happens. The weather sometimes get crazy. Things go all over the place. Stuff be breaking. Stuff be ripping. That's just what it is.
That's how it's territory.
Yeah, that's just the business that I'm in. So I kind of just try to break things down to where what can I control in that moment? What can I do about it? And then just go from there. Because if I can't control it at that time, then that's just, that's just it. There's no reason for me to stress about it.
Period. So what is your ideal event? Like, what's like, oh, I got this event. I love this event. You're happy the whole way of this event. What is that event for you?
Because I've done different ones so far. But I would have to say my ideal event would have to be kind of like the one that we just did, Garden Conversations. Yes. And that's just because I'm a very personable person. My whole business is based off of being personable, being your person. Being like, no matter what type of event it is, if it's your birthday and you need to call me because we need to figure out what colors match well with everything and we sit on the phone for hours, that's fine. That's what you hired me for. Being that person for my client because I understand how important this is. Even if it's like a regular birthday party, or if it's like, even if it's something as big as a company launch or like a listening party, I look at it as, okay, this is my personal thing. So I need to treat this as if this is my personal event or this is my personal party. So I would have to say, I would say that just because with that event, we were able to really get face to face with all of our audience and our potential clients and things like that, and actually really get to know them and learn more about them.
Period.
Because I feel like that's also missing as well in the event industry.
It is missing.
It's not really, you don't really come across a lot of events that are very personable and that the people who are actually hosting the event will walk up to you to shake your hand, introduce themselves, and have them ask you questions about, well, what do you do? Like, how could I possibly help you? Where can I step in? How can I add value to you?
Right. People, they be like, I'm paying you, get it done and get it executed well.
Yeah, like, no, like that's definitely not how I do money. That's definitely not how I do business. I try to work out any details, ask as many questions as possible because you're spending your money with me. So I want this to be perfect. Pretty much just bring that vision out of your head into real life and put you in that room.
I love that. Okay, let's scale it back. Let's go to the origin story because I know you just start off being an event planner and a set designer. So tell me, how did this all get started?
Well, I had my oldest daughter when I was 18 in high school.
Okay. And
when I graduated, I was kind of iffy about asking my grandparents to help me out as far as like money and stuff like that. So I kind of just was like, well, my graduation party, I'll do the treats. This was the worst experience. I'm going to be so serious. Okay. That was literally like the worst product I've ever done. So it started off as a sweets business. I was doing chocolate covered strawberries.
Okay.
And I did strawberries and pretzels for my graduation party.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else loved them, but they were horrible to me.
Why were they horrible to you?
Because that was my first time doing them, and I wasn't too knowledgeable about the temperatures with dealing with fruit and chocolate.
Oh, okay.
So I would dip some, put them in the freezer, because in my head, they're going to dry faster than the freezer. Taking them out, decorating them, putting them back in the freezer, because this, I'm out in my head still. I'm like, okay, this is gonna, it's gonna harden faster. Taking them out, sitting them to the side until I'm done with the rest, packaging them, putting them back in the freezer until the actual event. And then I took them out, and the chocolate was still hard, but the strawberries were real squishy. So I was kind of like, yeah, this was just, like a one and done thing. I was just trying to,
and people was tearing them up, huh?
Yeah, and I was just sitting there like, okay. So after that, we started to have more things in our family, and they were asking me to do them. So I was kind of like, okay, so I was like, it's something to do or whatever. And they were paying me. So I was like, okay, it's just additional money. And then as I was doing them, they got better. And my business started to grow. So I was like, okay, I got to take this serious. People actually like what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So there were times from I want to say I started 2018. So yeah, September 2018. That's when it officially started. 2020 is when I kind of slowed down a little bit. And it wasn't necessarily because of the pandemic. It was just because I was pregnant at the time and with my second daughter, and it was a lot that was going on. So I was just like, I'm going to just put this on the back burner. I don't really have any orders right now anyway. Right. Not knowing at that time that the reason why I didn't have the orders was strictly on me. Ooh. I wasn't putting it out there like that.
Let's get into it.
I'll take accountability quick in a heartbeat when it comes to that. I was not promoting my business like how I should have. I was not investing in it. I wasn't doing what I needed to do so I can get those orders. But I kind of did it on purpose because in my head, I knew if I don't tell nobody I'm doing them, nobody gonna ask me. But then again, I was kind of holding myself back in a way, but it is what it is. You live and you learn.
Yes.
So I want to say 2021 is when I started back doing them again. And I was posting it a little bit more. I was still getting some orders and stuff like that. But, in business, you do have those slow moments. And even though I was still posting, I still really wasn't getting as many orders as I liked. But I was still getting some. But I was still getting discouraged because I was like, okay, I'm sitting here posting my business and I'm not getting anything with this. Right. I'm literally sitting here wasting my time. Nobody's actually sitting here looking at my content. It's not that serious.
Period.
So I kind of slowed down a little bit on posting, but then it kind of picked back up again a little bit because my birthday is in February, and so is my oldest daughter, and my youngest daughter is in December. So we got 2 Aquarius and a Capricorn.
Oof.
Yeah. So my Capricorn, it's funny because everybody says that my Capricorn was sent to kind of balance us out. She adds to the chaos. She literally adds to the chaos. If anything, she makes it worse.
Okay.
But that's my girl. I love both of my babies to death. But for their parties, I always go above and beyond. It's just me.
That seems to always happen that way. Like you plan your kid's birthday party. You're like, oh wait, I can do this.
Yes, that's literally what it was. That is literally what it was. So like in December 2022, for her birthday, I did a farm theme because she loves animals.
Okay.
So I had decorated our house with like a cute little backdrop of like a barn, and then I had like the balloons, and I had inflatable farm animals that were set up as well as along the party. I got like a sack race. They were playing like physical games and stuff like that. And I actually really liked it. So I was like, okay, well, I might have to go ahead and consider this. And around that time as well, I believe I had my second surgery for my endometriosis, either my second or third. But I had the medication that they had me on. It made me really sleepy. But it was one medication in particular that I would take a nap and then be up again for 4 hours.
Okay.
So when those 4 hours, I would just be sitting there just not doing nothing. So I would just be looking at stuff. And then I want to say it took me 2 weeks to really decide, okay, this is what I'm going to do.
Period.
Because I was up like late at night, and then like one of my friends or whatever, he's like a night owl. So we were up together on the phone, looking at different things, brainstorming, figuring out, coming up with a plan. Okay, this is what I want to do. This is what I see right now. Let's come up with a plan. So my business actually started in that time period, right after my surgery, and it kind of just took off from there.
Thanks to those pills, keeping you up for 4 hours.
Pretty much. But thanks to my surgery and that medicine and stuff like that. That's what really set it off.
So what were the hiccups that you faced within? Oh no, I want to sidetrack. So you talked about how you wasn't putting your business out there then. So what are you doing now to put your business out there today?
Everything.
I know that's right.
Everything. Like, I noticed that in the event industry, a lot of people don't really get not want to say face to face, but like have their face in front of their business.
Right.
And I think that kind of creates a disadvantage in a way because there's not a face to your business.
Right.
You're constantly posting your events and things like that, and which is great. That part is great. But in today's day and age now, I feel like 2020 was the shift in society to where we were all like, okay, because I think that was too because we were kind of isolated and stuck at home to where we had no choice but to kind of look at each other on social media and stuff like that and TikTok and things. And I think that's really when everybody made the shift to start making more personable content. So that's kind of what I geared towards.
Okay.
Starting off, I was going to a lot of networking events. I still go to a lot of networking events now, but starting off, I was going to multiple networking events. If they had services there, like different companies that I could possibly take advantage of, I was doing it. I had my first podcast interview October last year, 2023.
Okay.
And that was so nerve-wracking. Like it was nerve-wracking because I was like, man, I always dreamed of talking about my business to like an audience or like being on TV before. So that was my moment for me. So I was like, okay, I need to get it together. This is what we got to do. I was kind of practicing a little bit last minute. And what's crazy too is I didn't even know they were going to be there. So they had just like walked up to me and they were like, hey, we want to interview you about your business. We're going to come back in 10 minutes. So I was like, okay, all right, let me get it together real quick. So I was trying to rehearse some stuff in my head on what to say, but I'm like, no, that doesn't even make any sense. And by the time I stopped doing that, they were already in front of me. So I was like, okay, let's just go with
Wing it.
I've done public speaking before. I've never had issues with speaking in front of loud crowds of people, doing things in front of people. I was a dancer in high school as well as in theater. So I was always in front of people. So it was never a problem. Okay. But being in front of a camera like that was like my first official time. So I was like, okay, we need to use our public speaking skills. Yep. In this moment right now, those classes we took in college, we need to apply that right now. Right now. And that's what I did. And it went really, really well. Okay. So with that first one, I want to say that kind of opened up a huge door for me to do more. Because I want to say I've done like 6 already so far, as well as I have a magazine feature that's also going to be coming out with another Black-owned magazine business, as well as working with different partnerships. And I made it to where it was like every networking event, I need a network. I don't care what it is. And I actually have kind of like a little secret focus group kind of strategy that I've been doing to where it was like, there's a company that also does networking events that they hire me to do the sponsorships for like their VIP area. So like I'll do like chocolate covered strawberries, pretzels, cookies, just different stuff like that. And I'll set up my table to where it's based off a certain theme to showcase both sides of my business, not just the sweets, but also the fact that I can bring a theme to life. Yes. I'm very intentional about every single thing I do. Okay. So with this one in particular, this was like in January. I didn't stand next to the table. I was still walking around, mingling, enjoying the event. And people were like, taking them off the table and stuff like that. And it got to points where people were taking cases off the table.
Not the cases.
Yeah, like it was a lot. It was a lot. It was nice to see in real time, but I was like, dang, like this is happening real quickly. So I actually ended up getting, I think, a pretzel rod from my table, and I just kind of stood by the bar. And this guy was standing next to me. He was like, oh, you got one from the table over there? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, yeah, I was thinking about getting one too. And I'm like, yeah, it's pretty good. And I was like, what do you think about the table over there? I think, whose table it is, it did really good. He was like, yeah, it looks real nice. A couple of people that I talked to earlier said the same thing. We got their business card and everything. We just don't know who it is. And I was like, oh, well, that was my table. And he was like, really? Yes. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, and you didn't say nothing. I said, I'm getting the honest feedback from you. This is what I really need. If I come up to you and tell you, this is my table, what do you think of it? Not necessarily saying that you're going to lie, but you're going to have it in your head to where, okay, I don't want to hurt her feelings.
Right.
But if I'm coming up to you and I'm talking to you and you don't even know that that's my thing, you're going to give me your honest feedback. So I've been doing that too with the different networking events, just getting true, raw, actual feedback. I
like that. That's smart. I think other vendors should do that. I like how you also mentioned like having a face of a business. Yes. Because I work with a lot of vendors, and when it comes down to me putting that camera in their face, they're like, oh. I'm like, you want to be rich or not? Like, do you want to get seen or not?
Yes,
you know,
yes.
I feel like we need to be more open to putting our face in front of our businesses. Yes, like you said, the man, everybody loved it, but they just don't know who table it belongs to. They're looking for a face. Online, people are looking for a face. So those of you out there that has a small business, put yourselves in front of your business.
Yes.
How has that been since you've been doing it?
It's been working out really, really well. Really, really well.
What were some things that you had to overcome to get in this stage of going on podcasts, doing interviews, and being seen in front of your business?
Imposter syndrome. And to be honest with you, I never even knew I had that, to be honest, because imposter syndrome, is set up as you don't feel like
that you're worthy.
That you're worthy. And I feel like I have really good confidence. So I was never like, no, I feel like I'm worthy of everything. But when I actually sat down and I thought about it, whenever I have events and it's event day, in the back of my head, I'm like, oh, wait, are we really finna do this? Like, are we sure? Maybe we should stay home. Maybe, maybe this ain't the right day. Maybe
Getting in your own way?
Yes. Like maybe we should say we sick. Maybe, maybe we shouldn't. And then I had to catch myself and then I'm like, wait a minute. No. We are not doing this. We've already came so far and we have even further to go.
Yeah.
We're not doing this. We're not stepping in. We're not getting in our way. We're doing this. This is for us. We know what we want to do. Imposter syndrome, please.
Get out of my face.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna call that in. I'm not even gonna associate myself with that. I'm gonna go ahead and just be like, look, I understand this is new for us. We're in a new environment. We're not used to this. We're not used to, going to do podcast interviews. We're not used to having events. We're not used to doing media days. We're not used to having meetings all the time and going to different events every week. We're not used to that. So we're going to be uncomfortable, and that's okay. But what's not okay is saying we're not supposed to be here because we know deep down we really are. So that right now, that's actually currently something too that I'm also struggling with and trying to work through and get out of. Okay. I know it's going to take me some time because this new lifestyle that I built for myself is unfamiliar for me. And I know the more that I continue to keep submerging myself in there and showing up and doing what it is that I know I can do, it'll eventually become comfortable to where I won't feel like that anymore.
Period. So just closing off, how can the people reach you and get your services?
Okay, so on Instagram, you guys can follow me at LaShawn's Luxury. And then my personal is just that's Z Baby. I post my lifestyle content, a little bit more personal content on there. LaShawn's Luxury is just mainly my business side, but I also do kind of post a little bit of behind the scenes content on there that's related to my business. Like if I'm cleaning out my inventory or setting something up or answering some questions or letting people know why they should book the services or how this could possibly take your event from something real small to something real big.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay. So definitely reach out to my girl right here. You don't want to miss all of this. If you have an event coming up and you don't want to be tasked with all the things that this woman tasked herself to do, she's your woman. When I do CCGOs, I like to end off with people giving a message to our viewers. So I know that there's a message you would like to give the viewers. So go ahead.
The message I would like to give everyone is just do it. Just post it. Just post it. If you got to post it and throw your phone, post it. Because I know they just like how if we send a risky text message or something or we're scared to do something, we're like, we're not going to do it. Yeah, just post it. If you got to post it and delete Instagram for the day, do that. Post it, throw your phone, do whatever you got to do, but just do it. It'll work out in the end. Even if you feel like nobody cares, there's someone that's watching you. Like, for instance, I just saw, I believe, I think it was either Lotto or JT, but they had I think the photographer, the stylist that was there. And I just so happened to go to the page because I'm sitting here thinking this person got millions of followers. They only have 10K. And I'm like, that right there. And I was like, okay, yeah. If someone that doesn't have a super huge following like that is with these super big celebrities and these superstars traveling with them, there's no reason for me not to believe that someone that's in that same area is not looking at me.
Period.
You may not see it because they may not like it or they may not comment, but someone is definitely interested.
They're watching.
They're watching.
They're watching. Are you going to be seen though when they watch
Yes,
it? So
yes.
thank you so much, love, for coming here
Thank
in
y'all for
Cultivators.
having me.
Cultivators, thank you so very much for tuning in. Until next time, peace.